Hi guys, welcome back. My name is Calvin Trieu. I'm the host of this podcast. I'm a first-year PhD student as well as a performance and nutrition coach. Welcome back. So for this episode today, this one, I had different ideas, but this one's very top of mind as something big happened yesterday. I took a big leap, and I think it's important to talk about the feelings and the faith in yourself and believing and betting on yourself more than you ever thought imaginable. And going into some of the top of mind thoughts and feelings that I'm chewing through, and just we're gonna work through it because I think this is the big one. And with the majority of my audience, when I was looking at the analytics, most of you guys are in your 20s, 30s, and some in the 40 to 50 category. And yeah, is my audience very small? And the way that and like me doing this right now is me betting on myself. And I can be completely transparent with you with this is on Spotify and Apple. When I look at this, my episodes are only getting anywhere from 0 to underneath 10 listens, which it's hard. It's really hard to see those numbers, knowing that every single week, the last 8 weeks now, but before that, there was waves and episodes. I'm at 116 right now, I think. But the last 8 weeks, I've been the most consistent every single week, one episode, doing a 20 to 50 minute episode, the prep, the idea generation, the creating of the content, the production, the editing, and then it flops. And that can make me want to quit this, but I'm viewing this as this is a investment in myself. I am trying to build this new identity. I am trying to build these new skills. I am trying to delay gratification. I am trying to bet on myself to understand that this is going to become something new. And those are the areas of things I want to talk about because I took a really big leap yesterday. But back to this, you can see how I don't have many views. And those of you guys who are watching and listening, thank you so much. And these podcast episodes are performing better on YouTube, which is kind of funny. On YouTube, it's ranging between 20 to underneath 100 listeners. And the average watch time has been around 5 minutes, I think, which is awesome. Thank you so much for you guys for listening. Now, I had other ideas of like exercise, nutrition stuff, science communication I want to share with you. But I think this one is a little bit more important at the moment because this is something we all can relate to. So the big thing that happened yesterday was in January, I have an opportunity to go to Tampa, Florida to help coach and train for an entire week 30-ish NFL prospects for the next combines, football, which is amazing, which is like I am in the trenches when it comes to performance coaching, which is wild for me to think. And this was an investment. This is part of a certification pipeline, a coaching certification pipeline that I'm doing from the main premise is textbooks down after 2 certifications, the practicums here, the real world stuff, time to put the books down and get on the gym floor and work with these people. Mind blown. I've never worked with this type of people before. And the investment that I just put down yesterday, I'm making monthly installments, is wild. It's so wild. It's so scary because just 5 months ago, I think it's 5 or 6 months now, back in April, I left my first full-time job with a salary it wasn't salary, it was hourly, but still, you get it. Benefits, 401k, the whole thing. Got myself out of debt, built a bit of a cushion, and left it all to now try to work for myself, to build this business I love exercise. I love nutrition. I love talking to people. I love the autonomy and freedom of doing things on my own how I want to build things. And I have taken that leap to do this. And at the same time, during all this, I got into a PhD program. It's not the most traditional path. It's a remote program. And the way that this can flourish or proliferate and how I do the whole process is uncharted territory, which is scary. And I'm betting a lot on myself right now. And I understand that I do have the privilege of, I am young. I'm 29 years old. I'm not married, nor do I have children. And I don't think that's something that will be in my future. So I am in a position where I can take this calculated risk. However, any sensible person would probably look at all this and think, you are potentially exploding and destroying your financial health right now. You're sacrificing so much time, so many things. You are betting on yourself right now to build an entire business, to gain this higher education degree, and now you just made a large financial commitment when you're about to run out of money here pretty soon if something doesn't change, and you just coughed up more and betting on yourself that future you is going to figure this out. And you're going to fly down to Tampa in 4 months to train with 30 NFL prospects for the next combine. You're going to be in the trenches being showed, or all of your weaknesses are going to show. All your strength, all your weaknesses. It's think fast, move fast, on your feet, go. Crazy. Do I know exactly where everything is going? I don't. And I have logical thoughts, sensible thoughts of what anybody would be thinking in this position. You should get a job. You should not be doing this. You should take something a little more comfortable, etc., etc. And I wanted to bring this up and share this experience and share. I have so much self-doubt in myself. It may seem like these are big, scary, multi-months and year-long goals. But I have so much self-doubt that I used to be that person that looks at other people. Because I grew up in Nebraska. My parents got divorced. I had an abusive father who I thought was my father. And now I don't know who my real father is. That I learned at 26. I'm 29 right now. I'm a firstborn. I'm one of 7. Parents are immigrants. I am the guinea pig of everything. I predominantly lived in white neighborhoods, and so I'm Asian American, so I look very different. I thought I was the dumbest kid in school because on the ACT before college, I got a 11 to 13 when my peers were getting 19, 20, 22. The top score was like 30. I did drugs, I smoked, I drank, I kept on getting hurt, getting surgeries, doing things. I have just been making things up as I go, and I have had so much self-doubt in myself throughout the years that looking back now, I'm amazed that I've made this far. And I'm not saying this to say that I am better or that my story is unique, because we all have our own stories. We all have similar common ground when it comes to the amount of adversity, the amount of disadvantages you had, as well as advantages. We all have advantages and disadvantages, but we've all gone through adversities, hardships, tough times, a lot of self-doubt, a lot of self-sabotaging, a lot of lack of self-belief, so much of all that. And now that I'm 29, as an adult, I'm learning more and more. Those feelings, for me, do not go away. And I was under this misconception thinking that as you get older, adults know what they're doing. They have it all figured out when everyone's just figuring it out as they go along. Nobody knows what they're doing. This is your first time doing everything. And of course, as you get older, certain risks to reward, doors do close. Doors do close, and the pressure on things goes up a lot higher. I'm not going to ignore that. The risk of quitting your job and going off on your own at 20 compared to 32 with 2 small children, vastly different. And so this is definitely, you have to be able to take calculated risks. But one of my biggest thing is I have so much self-doubt and belief and scared, and I'm always scared. And everything feels hard. But I've had so many different mantras or sayings, ideas, constructs that has helped me through each stage, each season and chapter that I have gone through. And in this stage right now, I was reminded of, this is what hard feels like. This is what hard feels like. And so it's okay to have these emotions, because it's not bad to have emotions of self-doubt, lack of self-belief, all of these feelings telling me that I should settle for comfort. It's not, there's something wrong with me. It's a feature. It's part of the human experience. And this is one of the huge separators from people who shoot for very large, ambitious goals, is that there isn't it's not that they don't feel these feelings as well. It's not that it's not there. It's that they've learned how to become aware of them, recognize them, understand that not every thought is real, not every emotion is a command. Therefore, take the space, take the pause, take the moment to sit in it, sit in that tension, and then make a decision. Because in those tension, where you're being stretched to pull back instead of leaning forward, is the moment where you should probably lean forward. It's meaning that you are growing. You are attempting something new and challenging and difficult for yourself. And by doing that, you are becoming a new person. You are shedding the identity. You are taking that leap of faith in yourself that you can do this, that you can figure this out, that you can create this path, that you can create this future, this new version of you. Because in the way that I coach is I'm very big on identity-based change. I love the physiology, the metabolism, the ones and zeros, the quirks of that, of course. But we're people. And it doesn't matter how many times I tell somebody, have this in your diet, do these reps and sets. It doesn't matter until the person becomes the person that actually does those things, thinks that way, challenges their beliefs, changes their perception, manage their emotions, and become the person that makes these behaviors sticky in themselves. There is so much identity changing that has to happen for you to experience any long-term sustainable change in whatever area you were trying to improve in. The person who you were last year got you to where you are now, but for you to become the person that makes this much money, that achieves this goal, that does XYZ, yes, you have to be strategic and have knowledge and skills, whatever, but from a very broad stroke perspective, you have to change your identity. It's just a part of it. It's part of the requirements, part of the prerequisites. For me to become somebody who earns this PhD, for me to become the person who has the bank account, has the business operations, to be a confident business owner, a coach, to be on the floor with those NFL athletes, prospects, I'm going to have to become somebody completely different to be able to show up like that. And that is completely my choice to make. I have the autonomy. I have the ownership. If I want to become that. Because if someone were to tell me these are the steps of things you have to do, and yeah, that makes sense. But for you to go through those, there's going to be resistance and barriers and things you feel as a person. And this is where you have to change your psychology. You have to believe that you can change. And even if you doubt yourself so much, try to tip the scale even by a fraction. Bet on yourself. I remind myself of the receipts, of the stack of undeniable proof that I have done hard things. I've gone through adversities, hardships, and this is no different. I've gone through an abusive father. I've gone through being a child of parents getting divorced. I've gone through moving through 8 different schools by the time I graduated high school. I've gone through XYZ. This is no different. And yeah, and some of the other ones that just came to mind is I've had 3 left knee surgeries. I've gone through all the hardships that comes from going through college for a 5th year. Gone through a master's program. I've moved to a different state already. Of course, I've failed a lot along the way. But all of those just creates more evidence and receipts for yourself that, okay, you've made it through this. You even conquered and you overcame that really well, this or that. Even though this other thing is not exactly identical to it, but the common denominator is you. You were resourceful. You were scrappy. This is no different. You have the skill set. And the only one that's going to stop you from succeeding is you. Only you are going to be the one that stops you. And I really hope that this is making sense and I'm not going too far around, because I did have a bit of a script here, but I'm just letting this flow naturally here. You are going to be the one that holds you back. It's a self-sabotaging mechanism that we do. It's almost paradoxical to where it feels like self-punishment when we try to take care of ourselves, when we try to do something, trying to stretch and lean into the tension. It feels almost like punishment because we don't know what success is going to look like, and we're more comfortable in the familiarity of the shit pile that we're in. We'd rather have that self-doubt because we know what that feels like than see what can happen. And it doesn't get easier, but you become so much more equipped to manage all these things. Let me rephrase that. It's always going to be scary. The weight of how scary it is, the weight of all of that, I feel like it always stays the same, but you become so much more equipped and you can close that gap in your mind. You can manage the mental drama on your mind. You can discern through it and you can diffuse it and close that gap and then make a decision so much faster. It's just reps and sets. You just get more efficient at managing yourself and then taking the action. And you don't always have to believe in yourself before you go do it. Action comes before belief. And I think one of the other thoughts that comes to mind is there's a saying, comparison is the thief of joy, I would like to take another layer, peel back another layer to that, is expectation is the thief of joy. And so if you have this narrative in your mind, really checking with the narrative that you have of what you quote unquote are saying that it should be like. You should get this promotion because it was hard and you did the work. You should get these grades. You should be further in life. You should be whatever because you're older. You should be X, Y, Z. I'm not a big fan of should. And this is not an easy world. And so just because you have experience or years of something, or you expect, doesn't mean it's going to match up. Maybe you just were not good enough yet. That's a big thing. Maybe the reason why my social media accounts aren't growing to the degree that I would like to see it to, because I'm not good enough yet. Just because I've been posting for a couple years doesn't mean I got any better. Just because you work harder doesn't mean you provide more value. Doesn't mean that you learn how to articulate better. And so, don't have that expectation of just because you invest in yourself, you are betting on yourself, that it should turn out a way in your favor. Sometimes it doesn't. And that's hard. That's hard. It's tough. And this is where your perception is everything. How quickly can you cognitively, how cognitively flexible can you be to diffuse whatever mental drama and then look at it and see, where did you trip up? Where could you improve? Be careful with the expectation part. And then last point I think I will run home so this doesn't go too far is the narrative portion. Really discern through your thoughts of whose thoughts are those. Are those actually your thoughts? Are those the thoughts of somebody else? Are those, whose thoughts are they? And who's putting that internal glass ceiling over you? Who's telling you that you can't dream big? Who's telling you that you can't you can't go from haven't ran in 10 years to building up to a marathon? Who says you can't completely change your life? Who says you can't get healthier or more fit? Who says any of these things? Really, really dive deep and dissect that one to see who's saying all these words. Is it you? Is it a parent? Is it somebody from 5 years ago? Some random person? Just a perceived belief from looking at everyone around you? Are most people around you thinking too small? There's nothing wrong with you for thinking big. And I hate thoughts that are, well, be realistic. Things are only realistic until you make it real. If you don't believe that you can do it, then you won't be able to do it. The only person that can hold you back is you. And so, screw what's realistic. Understand that depending on what the thing that you are being ambitious about is going to require a certain level of prerequisites, of demands, of skills, of knowledge, money, and time. The bigger the goal is, the more it's going to require from you. The smaller the goal is, the less it will require from you. For me to become a person who wakes up every morning on time, that takes a small degree. Doesn't mean it's easy, but a small degrees of things for me to change. It's way more believable. For me to, if you talk to 18-year-old me, to be in a position to get a PhD, to be self-employed and be doing this, 18-year-old me would have never believed this. But it's 11 years later, and everything in those 11 years had to happen in that order, in that sequence, for me to get to this position here now. Sure, I can play the what if game all day long of, if only I didn't do this, I could have had this faster. I could have blah, 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 blah. But then that doesn't serve you well at all. And by training your thought patterns to think that way, it doesn't light you up. It doesn't push you forward. It doesn't enable you. It disables you. So, point home, running this in is, I am not special in the things I have overcame or that I am pursuing. I am very proud of them. I'm not downplaying them. But you have adversities, you've had hardships, you had things, you've had moments where you wanted to give up, that you doubted yourself, that you never believed that you could do or become the person you are now. And your story is not done. Your story is not written in stone. Whether you're in your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, whoever you are, however old you are, whatever way you look, whatever the texture of what your life looks like right now, it can change. You can change. Because your one superpower is you. You are the common denominator across all that you have been through. You can do it again. Just don't stop believing that you can do it. And this is something that I'm running through day by day, hour by hour, minute by minute in my own mind of being my best cheerleader right now. It's not the easiest, but I know that this is what's required. I've had 20-something years of playing the same record in my mind of you can't do this, you can't do this, you can't do this. And it's going to take time to rewrite that song in my mind, that soundtrack of you can do this. You are Calvin Trieu. You are a PhD student. You are a self-employed business owner. And you can do this. The two phrases, I say that. And then the two words that I always say is I am. I've been practicing with that more. I am a writer. I am a person who does this. I am this, I am this, I am this, I am this. Because nobody else can say those two words, I am, but you. And the more that you can reinforce the identity, I am a person that perseveres. I am a person that is durable. I am a person that's not weak. I am a person that's strong. I am a person that can figure this out and make my way through. And if I can't find a way, I'm going to find a sledgehammer. I'm going to break through this fucking wall. Be violently, absurdly aggressive with the person that you want to become. You can be anything you want to be. So, that, I'm going to table it there. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Hope this resonated. Hope this helped. And I will see you in the next one. Thank you for listening and watching.